All right, so welcome to your IELTS speaking test. Can I have your full name?
My full name is Phạm Anh Duy.
All right, Duy. Okay, so we're going to start your test with the first part. And in part one, I'll ask some questions about yourself. First of all, let's talk about perfume. So do you use perfume?
I don't really use perfume that often, honestly, because I don't usually go out that much. I would consider myself as an introvert person rather than an extrovert one. So using perfume has not really always occurred to me. So yeah.
What kind of perfume do you like?
Well, as I've said before, perfume isn't really, my thing. So I guess I would have to say a perfume that I have heard about. A perfume that is, it has a smell that is somewhat related to wood. I think it's very classy and it's very easy to bring with you wherever you go.
Okay, and what does perfume mean to you?
I guess perfume is kind of special. Perfume is sort of like a subtle way to convey some sort of message. Because, a perfume, even though it's, people don't usually recognize it right away, but when you do, it certainly tells something about the person that is using the perfume. So I guess it's sort of a delivery of the message.
Okay, and do you give perfume as a gift?
That is actually a very good idea. I definitely would, think about it now that you have said it. Perfume is, it can deliver a message. So I believe that I can, tell a person how I think about them when I give them, a certain type of perfume, for instance. So.
Okay. So that was very good. Now we're going to move to part 2 of the test. And in this part, I want you to describe an old person who has an interesting life. And before your answer, you will have about 1 minute to take notes. And your 1 minute, here's your pen and paper. Well, your 1 minute starts now. Okay, so you may start your answer right now.
Okay, so today I'd like to talk to you about a person that I really love, he is my maternal grandfather. And the reason why I chose him is because I've always thought of him as a very special individual for me. And he has always been very close to me ever since I was a kid. And as a child, I would always look forward to going to his home in Nam Định, even though I lived pretty far from him in Hanoi. The thing that is the most interesting about him is that he would always tell me stories about his times in the military. And those are, I guess, the most memorable moments for me about him. Because, as a child, hearing and seeing about all the stories about the times that were really hard, and he had to endure and go through a lot of difficult stories. It was very touching, for me at least. He told me a lot of stories about times he would go to different villages in the mountains. He had to see a lot of his comrades die in the middle field, and it was very difficult, but he had to go through all of that to survive and come back to his home healthily. And hearing those stories really gave me the chance to appreciate what I have right now. Only when I've heard his story would I be able to fully understand how lucky I am to live in a peaceful and privileged life like I do right now. He was always very easy on me. The advice that he gave me was not always about, try harder, or he would never tell me to, get a better academic score or things like that. Things that he told me was always very simple, yet it is still very motivational, I think.
Okay, thank you. That is the end of the 2 minutes. So now we're gonna move to part 3 of the test, and I'll ask you some questions related to your part 2 question. Do you think old people's life will improve with the development of technology?
I guess it depends on how they approach the technology. Obviously, they can benefit from the better healthcare and the better transportation systems and the infrastructure that can be utilized towards caring for elderly people. But at the same time, technology can expose them to the different scams and frauds that are available everywhere on the internet. So I guess it's a two-sided story.
All right. So do people prefer to stay at home or go outside, and why?
Well, personally, I would love to stay at home rather than go outside. As I've said before, I'm more of an introvert. When I go to my grandparents' home, I would definitely advise them to go outside or, go on a trip or something like that when we're on vacation. Because I believe that now that they have lived such a difficult life, for me to, enjoy the things that I have now, I should definitely spend my time trying to, compensate some sort of the things that they have gone through.
What are the benefits of elderly people living alone?
I don't think there's much benefits for, elderly people to live in isolation. I think it's quite dangerous for them because feeling lonely when you are old is very popular nowadays. As a kid and a grandkid, if I don't pay much attention to my grandparents, I think that I'm not really, I'm living in a very careless way. That's for sure.
Right. So can old people and their grandchildren learn from each other when they live together?
Oh, definitely. Grandparents, I think they are very wise and they have a lot of things to teach me, just as long as I'm willing to listen, And there's always going to be a gap, an age gap, that I would never be able to, shorten, or like that age gap is always going to be there. There's nothing I can do about it. But I believe that it is something that I should cherish almost, because there's always going to be a person that that are close to you and that are much more wiser than you, and that's one thing that I think that I'm lucky to have, and I should definitely utilize that.
Okay, so that will be the end of your speaking test. Thank you. So now I'm going to give you some comments and feedback relating to your answers. So yeah, you gave a really solid answer throughout, and first of all, fluency wise, you had great fluency, and your speech was really fluid, and there was not any visibly hesitations or pauses that were unnatural. I think that you could be more direct with your answers to some questions. For example, the questions of do you give perfume as a gift? You could start off by saying that you don't or you haven't done that, right? Or the last question in part 3, in which I asked how can grandchildren and grandparents learn from each other? You only mentioned the the grandchildren learning from their grandparents' side, not the other way around yet. But yeah, generally it was really good. So pronunciation, I thought you were almost perfect. Like you had excellent American accent, and I didn't find any flaws or any errors in your pronunciation. Grammar was really good as well. You used a lot of complex and simple structures. And vocabulary wise, you also had a really wide range of lexical resources. So you managed to answer all the topics really clearly. And if you could, probably you can use maybe more of words and topic vocabulary in certain topics that may be a bit unfamiliar. So you got in the topic of perfume, right, which I think is not really common for you, so you didn't really use an alternative word for perfume, but yeah, maybe like different kinds of fragrance, or in the topic you could use words like body sense or body odor. That would be better for your answer. But overall, it was a very solid answer, and I believe that you can get at least 7.5 for this answer.